This episode of Power Women of the Trades is also brought to you by Forrest Perry of Forrest Perry Digital Marketing. Want to generate more leads for your service business? Trust his team to deliver quality new customer leads and protect your brand online. Check out perrymarketing.com today.
Hello everyone. We want to give a quick shout out to our amazing partner, Rilla, the game changer in the home service industry. Rilla's virtual ride-along software means no more physical ride-alongs. With Rilla, you can coach your team virtually 100 times faster and boost your close sale rates like never before. Don't miss out. Join the movement today and watch your sales soar. Visit rilla.com/PWT to learn more.
Most businesses' online presence is boring. And by being boring, they're losing out on potential sales and customers. Being interesting and exciting is what draws customers in and gets them to buy from you. But it's hard to be interesting online when you're focused on running your business and taking care of your customers. It doesn't have to be this way. We have the key to unlocking the solution to your problem. Key Heart Marketing can help take your business from boring to brilliant on social media. We can vouch for them. They run our podcast socials. If you want to have a strong social media presence that allows customers to know, like, and trust you, connect with Key Heart Marketing at keyheartmarketing.com. Welcome to Power Women of the Trades podcast. This show is all about breaking barriers and changing the game. Our guests will feature some of today's most successful female entrepreneurs and other advocates of our industry as well. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, female-led entrepreneurship drives change on multiple levels. We want to empower women in the trade industry like you so you can maximize your potential, stay balanced, achieve long-term success, and claim ownership over your life. Let's get started.
The Trades Podcast with Cassie and Heather. Today we have Brianna McAdory Ford, and I was just singing, this has been a long time coming, trying to get caught up with her over the past couple of years. She's a busy, busy lady. So hello, Brianna. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Definitely a long time coming. Excited to be here.
Cool. So
well, tell us your story. Tell us your story.
Yeah, tell us your story. Like, I have been able to, I don't think I've gotten to meet you in person.
No. All the conferences you'd think we have, but we have not.
Yeah. So you kind of popped up a rising star in the industry. And I just started, I think I became maybe social media friends with you about a year ago and got to start seeing your story. And so tell us how you got into the trades.
So I got into the trades by chance. I was in college to actually be a lawyer. Had a full ride to Loyola University, and I needed a job to sustain my life during that. And by chance, I got hired as a CSR at Keefe's Air Conditioning and Heating in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely loved it. I honestly was shocked that they hired me because I didn't even know how to change my filter at my house, let alone answer for an AC company. Things took off from there though, but I kind of have the type of mentality, if I work at Subway, like I'm going to make the best sandwich you've ever eaten in your life. Like I'm a master at every craft. And that's what I did there. And 2.5 years in, I was working up the chains, moved up to office manager. And I realized like I'm more passionate about this and I can probably make about the same amount of money, if not more, being a lawyer. This is more impactful to people in general. So I actually dropped out of college to go all in and fully pursue my career in HVAC. And so from there, I grew with Keefe's, and we were about $2-3 million company whenever I started. Over the course of our heavy growth, thanks to Nexstar, we really, really learned a lot from them. We implemented all their processes and procedures and grew them to $28 million over the course of about 3.5 years. So that was like an amazing journey. I was able to see like us go from like 20 employees to over 100 employees. Super awesome. From there, I joined another organization that was a little bit larger. I wanted a little bit more of a challenge. And that organization was actually losing money, roughly $1 million a month whenever I came in. So my goal was to restructure the business, right size it fix profitability, so on and so forth. So I was there for almost 4 years doing that. And here I am now. So now we're taking the big leap.
That's awesome. So now you're taking the big leap. And so what I really like so far love about this, your story is you just jumped in by chance and you didn't make, like respectfully, because I am a spouse that jumped into this industry because my husband, right? And so you jumped into the industry and you didn't know that. And then you were able to start as a CSR and work your way up. And I think that's like monumental to be able to show like the opportunity out there. And I know that maybe even back then you were never even considering where you are now, partnering with someone and opening your own business and doing that. But like, it's wild the things that can happen. And I think it says in 10 years.
Yeah. So I'm coming up. This will be my 10th year in the industry. So
Wow.
it's absolutely crazy what this can do for you. And, a little entry level job, like who would have
Yeah.
known turn into my
How
entire
old are
career.
you? How old are you? Sorry.
Yes. So I'll be 28 this year. So I'm only 27. So like when I tell you I graduated high school at 16 and like this was one of my first jobs, like besides like your Subway and like, it's my first like official office job. And it was like, okay, this will be cool. $10 an hour, office job. I'll learn how to be professional over the phone while I'm going to school to be a lawyer. And then next thing you know, everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy because this girl just dropped a full ride scholarship to be a lawyer to work in an AC company. Like what?
Yeah.
Actually, Brianna, what I was going to say is my story is very similar to yours. I was in college and went to work for a construction company, a general contractor, while I was still in college because they were remodeling one of the dorms at the college that I was attending. And I started working there and ended up where I thought I was going to end up working at a CPA firm. I ended up working in the trades from college on. So this will be my 29th year in the trades.
That's awesome.
It's crazy what brings you into the space. And I love to make sure that's something that we've not strayed away from. I hate always being like, well, what got you into the space? Because there are a lot of times that it'll be like, well, I married the HVAC guy or I married the plumber or whatever. And listen, that's me, guys. Okay. So I'm there, no shame in that. But I do love it because I think that's empowering for the other people that are listening to the show of like what opportunity is out there and what you could do. I know we're going to get to talk a little bit more about what you're about to do next, but you might not have ever even thought that was an opportunity that you wanted to do. And you may would have never have done that if there weren't, circumstances that led you to it. But there's still over the past 10 years, you've been able to identify some big growth like I said, I remember the first time and again, I've not met you in person. I just know you from social media. And that happens a lot. Everyone says that about me all the time. But it's like, I know you from socials, but I was just like flabbergasted that you're 27 and this is what you're doing. But I think like specifically right now for Kaylee is our director of marketing and our podcast manager, but she started with us when she was 22 and the growth that's happened for her in those years. But all the time I'm like, yo, girl, did you ever think you were going to be doing this? And she's like, no.
I know. It's absolutely crazy to think that. And see, we're in an opposite situation that you are in, Cassie. So my husband, he was not in the field of HVAC at all. Right. So, and as the years go on and, he's watching me, it's like I feel like he can almost run a company. Like he practically lives the world, right? There's no clock out here. And so he's actually jumped into it. So he went and he got his EPA and he's been working in the trades and learning the ins and outs. So we're doing the opposite. And he's so passionate about it. He's like, you're so passionate about this. There's got to be something in it. Like
that's amazing to me though, because it's the opposite story. And I think that, that's incredible and not one that you hear very often, but that's really a cool story that like I said, it's the opposite. And there's going to be like someone that can relate to that or know that. There's so many people. What I've continued to find is, and especially through this podcast, there are listeners and the people who message us, that the industry is so much bigger than we realize, because a lot of us get really, but at the same time still so small, but a lot of us get really focused on like, well, it's just the people that we see on social media and all of us that have the loud mouths on social media, right?
Mhm.
But every day we have people that are messaging us that listen to the podcast or have heard about this or whatever. And I'm just like, I've never even heard of this company or what this area of the world, or are you even on Facebook? And so there's somebody listening that may have this exact same story, or maybe wants to encourage their husband to jump in with them and do something. And so I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And speaking of being loud on social media, I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the last year and a half, was that you need a personal brand, right? So like you said, we become friends on Facebook about a year ago. I've been in this industry for 10 years and I have not put myself out there until about a year and a half ago, when I'm like, okay, it was just preaching to me that like, you got to have a personal brand. Like, you brand the business to a T, but like, what about you? What about you? You have to put yourself out there and show who you are and really speak on podcasts, go to events, speak to people that you don't know, let them know who you are, and networking will take you places degrees never will.
You need to go back and listen to one of the episodes that we had with Jen McKee. If you have not heard that one, but we talked specifically about personal branding, and she was actually talking about, she was using me as an example. Heather, you were with me on that, right? But like, I have spent one of the reasons why our company grew so quickly was because I focused on my personal brand for so long that like, I am who I am on social media. Like I stay consistent, and everyone can expect that from me, but I've invested in my personal brand. But, like we were at Next Star Super meeting last year, Heather, and Gary Vee was talking. And one of the things he said was, specifically pertaining to his personal brand, he doesn't talk or show his children and those types of things. And I'm like, that's cool. I love that for him. I have, because I'm a mom, and I am a mom, and I am still doing these things, and I am running to cheer every day, and I am, running like a chicken with my head cut off a lot of times, right? But part of sharing my whole story included my kids. Not everyone's going to do that. But anyway, so that episode with Jen is really cool because she talks about personal branding. And you're right, your business is composed of multiple different pieces.
Well, and it sets you apart from your brand too. For, there's a lot of us out, that have been in the trades for a while who have done multiple different things. And so I think when you have your personal brand, that those things follow you as well.
Yes, 100%. They definitely do.
Well, and I can tell you just from my, like, again, I don't know you very well because I know you from social media. I've said that 15 times, but I know your name, and I could not have told you where you worked. So that tells me that you actually have been doing better on your personal brand than you maybe have given yourself credit for, because I knew who you were, but I wasn't like studying where you were. You know what I mean? So I think that's pretty cool to know that, and to maybe give yourself credit for, of like, hey girl, you got this.
You were talking about some new things that you're doing. Tell us what you're up to now. You've had some big changes, and there's some great things coming. Let's talk about it.
Yes, for sure. So like to my age, like you were saying, like people are really shocked when they hear I'm only 27. So since a child, like I've been growing up in like survival mode, right? So I've always put my all into absolutely everything that I've done to break those generational curses and move up through the world. And I've done that in my career in HVAC. And so, but I'm not really fulfilling who I fully wanted to be doing that, right? So I want to give back to the community. I want to make sure that I serve people and I change people's lives, and I do it with purpose. And the best possible way for me to do that is for me to do it on my own. So we are taking the big leap of faith. So I didn't get into this world to play it safe. And so we're actually launching our business this week. It's all in heating and air. So we're super excited. We're in South Louisiana, and it's going to be amazing. So this industry has taken a turn in a lot of different ways, and we're missing the trust factor, the give back factor, the community factor, and that's the piece that I really, really am excited to focus on and go all in with ourselves and our community and make sure we take care of our people.
I think there's so much personal fulfillment in that when you can give back. Give back to your own community and intertwine that with your brand. Where in the community that they recognize All In Heating and Air as somebody that is actively serving the community.
Yeah. I'm a full believer. I probably overdo it, some people would say, and giving back because, like, as a child, like we wouldn't have Christmas without Toys for Tots. We wouldn't have food most of the time without food pantries. But in these places live off of donations.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not give back to the same people that are giving back to your community? And like I've been in those situations, so I want to make sure that now that I'm in the position to give back to others, that's what I'm going to do. That's what we're here to do. And it makes
Okay.
an impact.
I love this. There's so much, and I am really bad. It's this ADHD in me that I find how I relate to people, and there's a lot of like the trauma piece that you're talking about that I'm relate to. Have you ever done like a DISC survey, an Enneagram, PI? What have you done?
So I've done DISC profile. I've done the color code. Oh yeah, high D. I've done the color code, high red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've done the color code, you sound like a high red.
Have you done the predictive index?
I'm not sure if I've done that one before.
I'm like on this big predictive index kick right now. And I was like talking to Heather about it yesterday for our company, but I have, I'm a big ChatGPT fan. And so I've been having ChatGPT take all of my findings of my DISC assessment and my culture index and my predictive index. And every single one, ChatGPT just straight up said, listen, it basically said, listen, bro, you are who you are. It's all over here. So I bet you're a maverick on the PI, and I bet you're a persuader on the culture index. And I'll send you some links so you can try just do them for yourself. But it's really interesting when you find those things, because you can identify that in other people. Like specifically, if you and I work together, we would probably clash because we're both high achievers, focused on the same thing and trying to take the ownership. Not that we would hate each other, but we would probably clash, right? And it's cool to see those things. But I'm like already like, girl, I got you. I know. But I love that. Like I was driving my kid home the other day, and she had 3 people spend the night with her. And I was like, did you guys all get along last night? And they're like, yeah. And then 2 of the girls were like, well, we kind of got in a fight. And I was like, and one of them said, well, we found out that basically we kind of both act the same. And so I was like, okay, teaching moment. So here's the deal. As women, this is going to happen forever, right? But what you're annoyed about each other right now is what you do, And they're like, oh. And I was like, I thought I was excited because I got to tell these 11-year-old girls that. But anyways, I'm obsessed with these indexes right now. So that's where I'm. Heather, she's like, send me another freaking index right now. I'm like, look, this is
like them too. It's interesting to read it and see. It's like telling everything. I'm like, oh, okay. So you know everything. It's the trauma. A lot of it is the trauma. I get it, but we're working on it.
There's a lot of that. And on one of these things, it literally said, this often comes from, something from this. And I'm like, how do you know me?
I know.
But, I can really relate to that. And I think a lot of people do, male and female in our space, that can relate to that survival mode that I just have been out here trying to survive. I don't have that.
A lot of people in the trades that are pretty much self-made. I mean, 20 years ago, you had to be, especially as a female.
And and I'm not saying as owners, I'm saying technicians, they had to go figure that out. No one sent them to trade school, or they had to on the job train, and they've had to self-make themselves because they didn't have those opportunities brought to them.
And think about it, like who is going to high school or looking for a career and they're like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to go into HVAC. Right.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, so like they're like they work their way through it, and that's honestly one of the pieces that I absolutely love about the trades the most. One of the reasons I wanted to be a lawyer was, first of all, I'm really good at arguing. There's no doubt about that. But second of all, because I wanted to be able to impact people's lives, and not just anybody's lives, like people that really need it. People that don't typically have someone that can speak professionally and speak up for them. And then once I seen what HVAC's all about, I'm like, wait, these aren't guys coming out of college, and nothing bad on them, but these are normal people that you can give an opportunity to make figures, and they're the first person in their entire generation to make figures. You changed their entire life, and because you pulled something out of them that they didn't know they had.
Yeah, and that's so rewarding when those employees stop you in the hallway and they're like, "Hey, I just went and bought a truck, and no one in my family has ever bought a brand new truck." And I'm like, this happened the other day and he's like, "And I'm 20," and I'm like, that's incredible. Like, I'm so proud of you. But I remember when he came to us and he didn't even know what he wanted to do with his life, right? And you've got to like being able to work for a company that can help pull that out of them. And you're right, girl, like our space has changed so bad. So bad. Like there's some good things that have happened in our space in the last 5 years, and there's just so much bad. And I'm like, I want to get rid of all that shit right now, of all the things that people are like, chase this and chase that and sell this and sell out and do this and all of that. And it's just like everyone's lost focus. And have you seen those TikToks where it'll be like some random, like something and it says, it's almost like that was the point, And I want to like step back and like look at the space and just be like, it's almost like this was the point. Like I never was like, let's build a company and sell it, or let's build this and do that, or let's, that was never the purpose here. And so one thing that we've been focusing on is just like going back to who we are and not what all these gurus on social media have been telling us to do.
Yeah, that's what we've seen. I mean, Brianna, you've been in this industry long enough that you've probably seen the wave of, home service companies just kind of taking the market in 2018-ish, 2019, growing, through 2022. And we had a couple of rough years, 2023 and 2024, just the economy in general. But then all of a sudden, everybody starts losing focus because there's these gurus out there telling you how you're going to make the most amount of money and focusing on KPIs and all these things that we had previously started talking about, but they decided to monetize it and sell this latest, greatest thing that really, I think the heart and soul of our industry is kind of getting sick of it.
Yeah, and that point in particular eats me alive, okay? Because like I talk to probably at least 10 business owners a week, and they're friends of mine, and I help them with their business. And like, look, we're friends. Like I'm here to help you. Like I want to change people's lives because there's people out here charging $30,000 that have absolutely never ran an operation before. They have absolutely no success track record. If they were in an operation, it failed. And so because they have that operation on their record, whether it failed or not, because no one knows the true deal, they're out here selling their services. They don't know how to read a P&L. Their confidence overcomes their actual competency. And some of these poor business owners, they believe them. Because if
you're 100% spot on everything you just said, their confidence is why people bought into it. They've never actually done it. They have no track record of success, but people are still believing the shit that they're saying.
There is a reason why I have made a reputation for myself, and Heather can attest to this. And Brianna, you probably haven't seen it all for the last 8 years, but I have made a reputation of myself of I will be the bitch that'll say it. Okay. I'll be the one that says like, okay, first of all these people that are pushing, this is how much profit you need. I remember specifically someone saying double digit profit. Of course, everyone wants double digit profit, right? Okay. But they're push this. And everyone's on social media talking about this. And I'm looking at our P&L like, we're awful. We suck. Like, what's wrong? And then I started getting P&L sent to me, and all these people that were like, showing me these things, I'm like, none of you are operating at this. Oh, but this or that or whatever. No, like quit setting people up for failure. Quit preaching something that you've never practiced. Quit. And then I started seeing like people, I can go back to like, I always say our House Call Pro days. So when we're on Service Tight now, but like we were back in the day with House Call Pro, and we would go to all of their events and speak with them. And so we would meet all of these smaller companies. Well, I watched so many of those companies fall into these traps, and then they ended up getting divorced, or someone died because of a heart attack, or they lost everything. They had to file bankruptcy because they fell into that. Has nothing to do with House Call Pro, FYI.
No, it doesn't. I mean, this is what a lot of things that happened, and some of these gurus came in and took these companies
and then
robbed them,
and then they either take them or they push them so heavy, and these poor business owners just think they're awful and they're failing, and they're pushing so hard that guess what? When you push that hard, now you're unethical.
Yeah,
you're not doing the right thing. Like one of the trigger points for us of like, okay, this is it. I can't even trust someone to call in my area to work on my AC. Like this is crazy. Our neighbor across the street, poor thing, older lady, like lives in a big nice house. So she seems like she's got a little bit of money. Didn't tell us anything because she didn't really think of it. She called an AC company that came out. Mind you, this is a small little blow Joe. Didn't even know that they existed, and they charge her $1,065 for a capacitor.
Oh.
And she's talking to my husband about
Wow.
it, and it broke the next day, and he goes over there and he fixes it for her. By the way, it was a float switch issue. She's like, I know I just paid $1,000 for this. I know it's a capacitor. Those parts probably cost a couple $100. And my husband was like, look, I'm going to be honest with you. That part costs less than $10.
I like capacitor pricing is always a hot topic, but
Yeah.
$1,000, that is
Oh my gosh, that's absolutely
impossible.
insane.
Even for like large, huge companies do not do that.
That's what I said. I'm like, this is awful. Like, this is so awful.
But that's the thing, is because that one guy might have seen this one guru say this on social media and then flipped it, but then they have no context. And then it's gotten so out of hand, and it's exhausting. But I am tired of seeing my friends lose everything. I'm tired of seeing these people that I've watched build themselves because they fell into someone's trap. So I've been the one that like, hey, I'm cool. You can stand on that. You can know Cassie Pound will call your ass out because I'm done with it. And it's just everywhere. So there's definitely, I've got about 5 gurus that have me blocked on social media, but there has to be people like you and I that are willing to say like, no.
Because what's going to happen? And then you putting that word out there, even if that touches one person, that's one contractor that you saved that would have been saved before. Because when you don't have that level of professionalism to use your confidence and I did it to my husband the other day to show him, because we were talking about this, and he's like, I just don't understand how people fall for this and spend all this money. So like I waited till the next day, and he was eating something, and he was saying something was messing with him, and I'm like, I don't remember what it was he was eating, but I was like, that's got the highest level of grain in it than any other food item. Like, you're probably allergic to grain. And he was like, really? Oh my gosh, I never thought about that. I was like, I'm just messing with you. But look, that's what confidence can do. I said that with such confidence, you 100% believe me. That's what these people are doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Having facts and not having facts. Like, there's just so many things that are like, oh, this is such a hot topic for me, girl. Oh, I feel like my heart palpitating right now. Like, it's just so frustrating. Well, I'm super excited for you to be like getting into this opportunity for you and your husband. And so sometimes this question's kind of like, I remember getting to a spot where I didn't want to hear this question anymore, because I was like, why is it different? But it really is. And here's what I want to ask you is, there are people, you're 27, 28 years old, right? And I specifically, we have some leaders in our company that are young and are female. And often, I was sitting down with someone as a dispatcher the other day, and I was like, as a dispatcher, you have authority because you're telling these people where to go every day. And you're young and you're a woman. And I came into my first leadership role when I was about your age, and, going through all the things. And I'm like, unfortunately, this is something for the rest of your life you're going to deal with. Right. But so what do you do? How do you feel like you've grown as a leader, good and bad, because you're a woman? And then what advice do you have to like other young females that might be in a leadership type position? Like, how do you handle the bullshit?
So first of all, being a woman in the industry, it took me a while to believe this. Like, in the beginning, it was a little bit tougher, but it's an advantage. Like, it's not a disadvantage by any means. Like, we're better communicators. We can understand people better. We can persuade people better. Like, we can understand people on an emotional level. Like, it's just a whole different ballgame. But with that being said, people tend to try to undermine you. Oh, you're just a woman. Or like, I want to talk to the boss. They get on the phone with me. Like, no, like the boss, like not a woman, right?
Like with me.
Yeah, right, exactly. So some people you just have to show them. Like, you can't get into the riffraff with them. Don't go back and forth with them. Just show them who you are. There's many people that I talk to, and like when they first see me, they're like, "Oh, she doesn't know what she's doing." Like, I've educated myself, invested in training myself, and I show them what I'm capable of. Like, there's no sense in me explaining who I am or what I know or what I do. Like, I'm just going to show you what I'm capable of. And at the end of the day, as long as you do that, there's nothing else that they can do. There's nothing else they can do. Like, I have the absolute best team that has the most respect for me in the world. But I built that. And like that took time for them to actually trust me and hold to my word and do what I'm actually supposed to do. But I don't even look at it as being a woman anymore. It's just like, hey, I've made it in the industry. Like I have so much more to grow. But I take the woman factor out of it is the biggest thing for me. Like
that's what I meant by like I got to the point of like I got tired of answering that question because it was like every podcast that I was on, that was the same question. But then I go back to, when I was like trying to lead this person and be like, okay, like here's the deal. You do have to find that in you and that it doesn't matter, but you do have to recognize some of these things. Like when you have, someone sliding into your messages a little differently than would they have said that to Brianna? Or did they said that to the CSR that they thought they could get away with it of how inappropriate is too inappropriate, what's inappropriate. And so some of those things I think that, especially for us that have just like put up those cold walls and our type of personality that we're like, oh, hell no, of like reminding these younger women and in all ages of women that are in the space of like, stand up for yourself. And if they wouldn't have said that to a man, then they shouldn't have said it to you. And just because you brought it up, and here's the deal, just because I brought it up to you does not mean it's drama.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or I'm emotional.
Yes. I have been told many things. I had one former boss a couple of years ago tell me, you should be at home raising children, not training technicians and sales guys. And so my response to him, and just like as an example of like that wall, they get to time for that wall to be built up. And my immediate response was like, oh, I'm sorry. You're upset that a woman can run a business better than you. That's unfortunate. And that ate him alive. Like, that's all I had to say. Like, cause he knew that I was capable and I was doing a good job. Like, that's why he was intimidated. Like when they question you and beat you down, they're intimidated by you. You just have to 100% understand that.
That's 100% true. Most of the time it is not them or you, it's them. And it's that you intimidated them, not because you were mean. Being held accountable is not mean. Being called out on your poor performance or your whatever is not mean. That's accountability. But just because a woman said it to you doesn't mean it's emotional or drama or mean, And so I think it's good, like, because I have seen myself go from this, like, I talked about that a lot to help like spread, like it's awareness and all of that. And then I dropped of like, I'm tired of talking about this because like everyone knows this, right? And then going back of seeing like this new, we're always going to be fighting that battle to some degree of like empowering other women to find that voice in themselves too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
For sure. What is one lesson you had to learn the hard way?
One lesson I had to learn the hard way.
I already know mine. It's not my interview, but
yeah, that I've learned so many the hard way. That's the thing. Like I've learned so many. Oh, so the biggest one, kind of back to the point that we just talked about, you can't trust everybody. Like do your own fact checking. Like don't just believe someone has. So like I myself have been in a position to where I listened to someone who's very confident. Like this person had apparently ran and grew a big business, had coached a bunch of people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's brilliant. Like I need to be careful what I say and I need to learn everything from this person. And then within a week of me I do my research and I'm like, I need to unlearn everything I just learned.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So like
get so
that confidence piece where they were confident enough to tell you and you were naive enough to believe it until you actually did the research yourself and realized that they were full of it.
100%. Like people can articulate words to make themselves seem extremely smart and bright. And look, guys, ChatGPT is out there now. Okay. If they couldn't do it before, they definitely can do it now. Like research, like make sure you get references on these people. Make sure you talk to people that have used them, people that stopped using them or decided not to use them. Like look at all angles, like speak to people that know them. Don't just speak to their besties. We want to make you actually get factual information. Because the last thing you need to do is be ready to be open-minded, to be a sponge and learn from these people. And then you learn the wrong things and then that takes you downhill. Or
and
Yeah.
And don't, like you said, get the references. And if they can't give you references, that's a red flag. Or they can't give you, oh, I've heard someone say, like, I can't share my client list. Okay. I had someone yesterday, funny enough, that was talking to me about a software, and they're trying to get into our space, small world, talking to them, yada, yada, yada. And they just kept mentioning Service Titan and Service Titan. And I just finally stopped the conversation because I knew that they were trying to get into our space, and I knew that they were trying to leverage my voice. Right. And I just stopped the conversation and I said, do you actually have experience with Service Titan, or are you just trying to fluff me for this conversation? And there was a pause, and
call center guy called me. Actually, I didn't even tell you this, Cassie, but this call center guy called me the end of last week with the same thing, dropping names like Tommy Mello, throwing out software like Service Titan. And it was the same exact conversation. Where I'm like, do you know who these people are, how they started, what they do?
Yeah. What do you know? And it was a pause. And the truth was they had worked with someone with Service Titan, but one. Mm-hmm. And so they probably saw some opportunity and they went searching, and that's fine and they were truthful and they were honest with that. So they weren't lying. However, I said, listen, I need to let you know, I've been down this road. Right. And I've been bamboozled and I've believed some dumb shit, and some of that dumb shit's on me, but I ain't that girl anymore. I'm going to fact check you, and I'm going to figure out where you came from. And especially when some people just start randomly popping into the space that we had a marketing change a few weeks ago. It was pretty profound marketing change. Huh?
I said, I think we all know about that.
Yeah. Did you know? We had a marketing change, and in that 48 hours, well, it's been more than that, but in about 48 hours, I had like 75 requests of people trying to be my friend. And they were either other marketing coaches or either, marketing companies or HVAC coaches. And some of these people I had never freaking heard of. So I'm going through these coaches. Like I have currently right now, it drives everyone who sees my Facebook crazy, 165 pending friend requests, because I am no longer just adding people. I'm looking to see who you are, right? And there are these coaches that are, I will teach you how to sell, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, where the hell did you come from? Yeah. I don't know who you are. I'm trying to like dig back, and like, my son is really good at this. I feel like I've taught him very well, but I can be like, hey, look at this person and find out where they came from. Like digging back, and we can find that like no company of any name or anything like, so what experience do you have to be training? What do you've got? And it's just like, it continues to just open my eye about how much crazy stuff's out there and people are believing.
Yeah, it's absolutely like, oh, they worked at Enterprise. They know everything about HVAC. Like do your research. These people are just telling a story because they're seeing dollar signs. And if people are just doing it for the money in this industry, they're not the right people that should be in this industry.
100%.
This is a people business that we're in.
100%. All right, girl. Well, I'm so glad we finally got to catch up. I'm excited for your new journey. I'm so proud of you as just woman to woman. Proud of you. I'm proud of you. I remember what I was doing at 28, and it was not this yet, And so I don't know, but it wasn't not to the level you're doing it. So you have a lot to be proud of. I'm super excited to see how All In Heating and Air goes.
Thank you. We're super excited. I'm definitely ready to launch and be able to do this on my own and not have to answer to anybody and be able to do the right thing. That's the biggest thing that I'm excited for. I'm well over 9 years, that's for sure.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Keep telling your story, keep being a voice, and hopefully we can catch up soon in person.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Thanks, girl.
Thanks.
This has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review on Apple, and make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.